Over planning board. We have one item on the agenda tonight. And that is an application of VAF10 LLC. The property located at 21 James Street in the village. It is in the Central Business District. And the application is to renovate and change a single-family house to a 3-unit property. You have the information in front of you. We have a couple of maps. One is the survey map, and the other one is a floor plan showing the apartments that we projected. The applicant, are you the applicant, sir?
Yes.
Would you please state your name for the
Sure.
record?
Evan Souza, applicant for 21 James Street. Convert the property to 3 apartments.
Anything you want to address as far as the plans you think that we ought to know about?
Not really. I mean, we got the drawings here explaining pretty much everything that we need to do. Obviously, we have to get the approval to put the extension on in order for the one apartment to be big enough, and then we create the parking spots in that.
What is, I didn't see missing the dimensions of the extension. It's shown here, but there are no dimensions on it.
I did drop new ones with dimensions. Should be 11 feet 4 inches by 14 feet and 6 inches.
Oh, okay.
So that's that bottom back bedroom on the
Correct.
right hand side.
Yeah. So that bedroom, that full bedroom is an addition.
It's a 1-story addition.
Correct.
All right. Any members have any questions for Mr. Souza? And I would like to ask, at the request of Maureen, who does the minutes, before you speak, would you please identify who you are, because she doesn't know your voices and she takes the minutes off the tape. So if you just identify yourself so that she gets the right person to make a motion of the questions. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this is Jessica, and I'm just curious about, this is what are we doing here? For looking to approve the site plan?
Approve the site plan.
How can we approve a site plan without an approval for the extension? Like, wouldn't it have to meet code, and wouldn't the building code officer have to approve that
He will
permit?
he will approve the construction permit and approve the construction. We're approving the site plan to do that.
Okay,
How are you going to introduce these things? I'll get along here in a minute. Okay, we have I don't know if you've gotten it, Mr. Souza, but county planning has reviewed this. We just got a draft of it this afternoon, and they do have some concerns.
Okay.
One is the parking. You only have 5 parking spaces, and there are 6 required parking spaces in a for 3 units, 2 per unit.
Okay, we definitely have enough space to add another parking. We just thought that being a 5-bedroom complex, that 5 bedrooms with 5 parking spots will be enough. But if the requirement is to have 6 parking spots, 2 per apartment, we can easily do that by just extending the proposed parking, by an extra 10 feet and add 1 more spot.
So that apron at the very
Correct.
end would not be an apron anymore.
I will just move farther back, the apron.
Move the apron farther back and then add 10 feet,
Correct.
another space, okay. I think, and I'm not sure, but my recollection in the code is that you may want to review that before you do it, because review with Kevin McMahon. According to code, you're not allowed to cover more than 40% of the lot.
I talked to him briefly about it, and again, without having the exact measurements, we feel that there's more than enough space to add
Okay.
another spot.
Okay. Just that you can't have more than 40% impervious.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, and that is a contingency for us to approve the plan, that you submit a revised plan with the parking.
Okay.
And this is kind of an iffy one for me, that the village require the applicant to submit an acceptable landscaping plan for the new use. Technically, it's not a new use, it's an expansion of an existing use. I don't know what we would look for a landscaping plan.
How I'm reading this, so resolved only under the following conditions. One, that the village require the applicant to submit a complete parking plan that conforms to the village code requirements for this new use. So you just went over that. If you're going to approve of this, it's gonna have to be subject to making sure that he had, it's actually, VAF 10 LLC has adequate parking for the occupants, and has to stay under the 40% threshold, as far as impervious material, okay? That takes care of number one. Number two, it's not even in the code, but yet they have this in here, that the village require the applicant to submit an acceptable landscaping plan for this new use. I think what you can ask the applicant is that, see, this is the other issue. It's gonna probably have to have him come back a second time to show you, this is like where you're gonna put trees and shrubberies and grass, like green space type of thing. So you might have to come back, you're gonna have to, if they approve of it, because they're not gonna be able to make, they're gonna have to look to make sure that this is acceptable. You see what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
This
But
is
again,
something-
being a residential property, I don't know. Yes, we will be landscaping, for example, like new grass and stuff, maybe like little bushes,
Yeah.
but we're not talking about new trees
No,
or
no,
anything
no,
like
this is
that.
what you gotta do, if you got an architect or someone
Yes.
that's doing it, you can do something to color where the grass is gonna be in green, where the plants and the shrubbery is gonna be. I mean, you have to build a forest, or you just gotta show this planning board, apparently according to the county, that this is what you've done, but your renderings for landscaping, that have to come back, but to have them look at it and be okay. This is what the county wants, and that would take care of that. I think if any of the board members have any questions, but I think that's what the gist of that one is.
Make it pretty.
Yes.
Well,
That's the idea.
and again, it's really, I have a hard time understanding exactly what they're saying for landscaping.
Well, I think a couple things, and I think what they're saying is it's a new, I just saw this myself. I think what they're saying is that obviously it's gonna be a new type of residence, and they wanna make sure that it's got, a lawn, shrubberies and things like that. I don't know, maybe a smaller tree, what your architect will know what he wants to do. But I don't think it's anything, that they're asking that has to be anything all that significant. You know what I'm saying? You're building a new house or doing something like that. They want to see where there's lawn, where the shrubs are, things like that. Although your code doesn't require it, you see they're highlighting only under the following conditions. That's what I think they're at. I don't think it, Evan, I don't think it's anything all that difficult for you to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's fine, not a problem.
Dan, can you pull up the Google? Yeah. We were looking just before, and Dan, if you're not familiar with the site,
No, they killed me out, so just bear with me.
Google Earth.
Talk about yourself.
Google Earth is so fantastic that it may not be up to date, but it's pretty close. And that's the parcel we're looking at right there. With the, just to the left of that.
So those two garages,
Yeah,
their
those
sheds
two are
are
their
coming
sheds.
down and that's gonna be,
Right. Right, that's gonna be the driveway parking area is gonna go behind there. There is a tree in the front between the sidewalk and the house. And that looks like it's almost like a boundary line tree because it's so close to the,
Those trees have been cut down.
those have been?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, now, another question is there anything between your house and number 23 as far as minimizing the impact of an apartment house against a single family? Trees or shrubbery or something like that.
The neighbor has like a little garden bed attached kind of
Okay,
on the 21 James Street property,
okay.
like a flower bed or
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay. You know, and then again, item 3 on this one, Mr. Sousa says that the village require applicants to submit supplemental plans that satisfactorily address those requirements. As Counselor has stated, I think if you were to take this survey map and have redraw the parking areas and then just identify any shrubs or grass or anything that you intend to plant in there. That's all I can imagine, unless somebody else has any other ideas. I don't know. I think my main concern is that the driveway and parking areas be considered and not exceed the 40% lot coverage.
I think what they're saying, if I get this right, I think Don's right. If you come back and you show what's gonna be paid, and I think they want the parking, make sure you have enough parking spots. Okay, you do that, that takes care of number one, and show a percentage that you're under 40%. Okay, that takes care of number one. Then number two, if you just, show some grass and whatever you're gonna do there as far as landscaping, that takes care of number two. I think 3 refers to 1 and 2, because 20, isn't 2, 28, 44, that's your site plan.
Yeah.
So I think that takes care, I think, am I reading it the way you're reading
I
it?
think so, yeah.
So 3 means you just take care of 1 and 2, and then when you come back, then they can do 4, compliance with the secret requirement, because then they'll have everything addressed, they'll have the landscaping, they'll have the impervious issue, they'll have the parking, and then you can address number 4. And I talked with Don about this. Number 4, as far as seeker goes, this is an unclassified action that just requires a short form seeker. And then you can do that and you come back and the board will make their determination of approval, or disapproval. And then if they approve, you're on your way. I just don't know, does this board meet next month?
That would be the 27th, then that's doable.
Well, I mean, I don't know, I think he needs to know if he needs to have it done by December, or just gets pushed off to January. I think he needs to know
I
that.
mean, ideally, we'd like to
I
get working tomorrow.
I understand that, I certainly appreciate it.
Like, how quick do you think you can turn around those 2 items?
Next week. Or by the end of this week.
Is the board amenable to a mid-December meeting?
My biggest concern is if we address all those things, and let's say they were addressed already here, is the answer, I guess, what we would like to know is like, is it okay to convert the one family to three, or does somebody have any concerns for that? The little stuff we can address, the shrubs, the parking,
Well, I mean,
everything else.
if the board doesn't mind, it's in the central business district. So I believe that the central business district promotes multifamily housing.
Okay.
So it's an item that is promoted within that district.
Okay, so having said that, obviously, if we have to wait a month, I mean, we'll wait a month, but then you say it might be delayed into January. That's like a long time for like, just like get the shrubs and the parking, if we can get the diagram, the layout fast.
If you want to work with myself, I'm Dan, I'm the village clerk, and work with Kevin, depending how quickly you can get the turnaround of those items. We can go back to the board and said, okay, do we want to do it the 13th of December, or do we want to do it as normal?
That's up to what the board wants.
Or do we want to just meet on the normal 27th? And obviously December being, what it is, so is what, kind of the questions that you have to.
I think as far as December goes, the earlier in December will be the better, because once it gets closer to Christmas, like.
Yeah, I mean, the 27th is 2 days afterwards,
Yeah.
so most people wouldn't like to do that.
Yeah.
So, and we could say the special meeting is for, not just because, but because of obviously the holidays and whatnot. So if we want to commit to the 13th, then as long as we get the stuff that's needed by then.
Thirteenth, is the 13th agreeable?
I think I have a prior commitment on that night, but if other people can be here.
And we can get Mike maybe, so as the alternate.
I think the 13th is a good,
It's not pretty good though.
is a good, a good time.
Okay.
You have it done by the 13th.
Yeah, I would just need a copy of that, because I do not
That's
have
what I'm
one.
saying.
I don't even know, make sure we get them all right.
Right.
And just for technicality, that is a draft. I assume there's not gonna be any changes, but it's just submitted as a draft.
Okay.
Now from the county.
What I would do, if the board's gonna meet on the 13th, I think we should.
Okay.
Let me just move on something here. Because you wanna give the board some time to look at things. So I think if they're meeting on the 13th, it would be great if you could have something to Dan by the 8th of December, so that he can get it out on the 8th, and that would give the board members over the weekend and a couple days before the meeting to look at everything you have. And the other thing that I think would help is, I didn't see your map, is it all, if you could get color into it, like the landscaping
Okay.
color and the asphalt in black, because you could show the contrast of the asphalt in black, and what's white is like in green, so you could show the impervious material as opposed to non-impervious material. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I would do. And if you can get everything over by the 8th, then Dan can get it out, or Tanya can get it out to the board members, so they have some time to look at it. Okay?
Sounds good.
This is Mike Pollock. To determine the 40%, I think we need to see a calculation.
I'm sure the architect can, whenever they do it digitally, they can put a percentage, somewhere in there, so we have a better idea.
That's what I said, Mike. I already told him that. I said, if his architect or engineer, whoever, can show you exactly how they come at under 40% with the calculation.
Yeah, I
They
mean-
might not even have to do it on the map. They can do it on a sheet of paper too.
I'm sorry, I missed
No, that's
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I only have two other small items, on your SCA environmental assessment number, part 1, 8B. Are public transportation services available? We haven't marked no, but there are public transportation services. The county bus line runs by there, so that should really be a yes, which would probably be in your favor.
It's the environmental form that you filled out. Covered.
Okay.
And so we'll make that a yes.
We need to get an updated copy of that.
Okay, and number 16 is a project located in the 100-year floodplain. There was no answer for that. within a 100-year item.
I don't think so, but we can certainly look at that.
Okay, so we'll check that, just to be sure. We'll check that here. All right, that's all I have. So if you're agreeable, we will, I'm trying to think of the right word. We
Let's
must,
table it.
well, technically, if you table it, you gotta have a motion to bring it back. So
Well, I appreciate it.
we postpone
Postpone.
action until the 13th at 6:30 here. Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a motion to do that. Mike moves to postpone action until the 13th. Second,
I'll second it.
Ashley seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. One other item we have is, you should have. Actually, I'll let you have until the 13th, look over the minutes of the past meetings. that are in this packet. I won't ask you for.
Respect it.
The one we just got, the minutes are in there. I don't like to have to. I didn't see anything glaring with them, but let's not do it. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
We see the 13th.
13th,
13th.
Friday the 13th comes on a Wednesday this month.
Mhm.
You ever watch, you ever look, no, you never saw the comic strip, Pogo. Pogo, see, it's wasted.
Anyway, they're too young.
Pogo, he used to say, Friday the 13th comes on a Tuesday this month. Or,
Well, we'll have to-
you don't even get newspapers anymore, so.
My parents do.
But no,
Listen to Ashley, my grandparents, my.
I don't think Pogo is in the,
Anywhere.
I still don't.
You guys are being recorded and streaming, so,
We're adjourned.
okay, we'll just, hold on a second.
Okay, well, we didn't say anything bad. We were just talking about Pogo.
From the newspaper.
You never know with these
We
boards.
weren't talking about you, Dan. Everybody
At
knows
all.
that Ashley's mom